Hello, this is Matt with 3G Store, and today we're going to look at the MAX 700 System Status menu. So under Status, we have some basic device information. You can see the router name, what hardware revision you're on, as well as the current firmware version and your system uptime. You can also download your diagnostic reports from here or quickly reference the MAC addresses of any connected devices. You can then view the active sessions, which will indicate all the IPs. If the connection is idle, active, you can filter it out via different inputs if you just want to look and see who's connected to specific devices on different connections. Then we have our client list here, which will indicate all of the currently connected devices there. You can see the computers named as well as the MAC address, and if they were connected via wireless, they would also have the network name and the signal strength under this section here. And then you can scale this on either kilobytes or megabytes on how much data they're transmitting. And then we have our IPsec VPN, which allows us to quickly glance and take a look at the status if you had any IPsec tunnels set up. And then we have our event log, which will give you a quick indicator of all the statuses and changes that the router has had, whether it's WAN, Wi-Fi is WAN, or if it's a USB device. It'll indicate connected, disconnected, etc. Okay, and then we have some different options for bandwidth. We have real-time, daily, as well as monthly. Under the real-time, what you can see is all of the transmission on both download and upload details, which show how much you've used over each individual connection. And then you have a real-time chart with each of the devices here. As you can see, it spikes up when you start transmitting data, and you'll see that over which connection. Like in this case, it was the Comcast connection that just had a spike of about 2 megs down. And then you have all of your USB inputs, so you can just glance and see if a specific connection may be overloaded or if it's being underutilized versus what you're paying for your monthly service. And then we have our daily usage, which basically tracks all usage there. You can run this over and you can see how much data that you've been using, broken down into total, uplink, and downlink, as well as you can see individual days and how much data was transferred on any given day. You can actually click on this and it'll load up each IP that was connected at that time as well as how much data was transmitted through it. So it's a very tool if you want to determine exactly where your data usage is coming from. If you notice specific users consuming a lot more data, that'll indicate that you may want to investigate why they're transmitting a lot more data than all your other employees are. And finally, you have your monthly logs. And that's again just a broken down based on your usage on your down, up, and total usage for a month's period. And then you can see it broken down by each month, and then you can click on those obviously for more details if you want to see the statistics of the devices and how much they're using again. And also you can break that down or scale that by gigabytes or megabytes, and then you can take a look at each of your connections again so you can see which connection is using the most data. And to conclude this demonstration, the Peplink Max 700 load balancing router is a very powerful enterprise solution that allows you to easily configure and manage all of your network activity both locally and remotely with detailed graphs, charts, and indicators if you need any alerts and need a great deal of control over your network.